Record. Hello, everybody. So, Keith has gone off to go do some shopping, wander around town for a bit. I don't know. So I decided this would be a good opportunity to continue on with a little bit of Scarlet Hollow. Now, I don't know how far we'll get, but we will get there. Hopefully. Wednesday. There we go. You probably have a bit of time before you need it at the library. Let's swing by the diner. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. There we go. That should be better. Let's talk TV. Hey there, stranger. Before you can exchange words, Whitney sidles a fresh mug of tea in hand. Heard you might need this, and don't worry about paying for it. The funeral has you worried plenty already, I bet. And the answer 29 down is wait. What? With the clearest penny sound. How's that the sound the pen makes? Wait, pen like pig pen? Are you kidding me? How is that supposed to get that? I don't know why you bother with these things. It's just gonna frustrate you. This is something to do until the time, but maybe I should switch this do. So, thanks for telling me about last night. If you want to really get into the grisly details, you can tell me. I won't judge. Yeah, we'll tell him. Them. You share everything. Glad to have someone to talk to about the horrors you witnessed. Wow, that's some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed this way. Monsters in the woods? Oh, also, there's Julius. I've never heard of anything like that around here. I mean, I know I haven't been around that long, but I feel like that's the kind of thing people would talk about. How exciting. Now that I think about it, when the cops came in for the morning coffee, they mentioned something about going out to the woods to look for someone. Also, does anyone think Julius is listening to our conversation? Because his eyes seem to be right on us. Must have been duped. They seem so disconnected from it. I figured it couldn't be very serious, but wow. Bastard was probably... Oh, Julius! Bastard was probably out drinking with a shotgun again. Julius, did anybody ever teach you not to be ill of the dead? cops out here in the middle of nowhere, I'm sure they've seen some horrors, right? Hunting accidents, bear attacks. I don't know where you're getting your information on real life, but they mostly sit around in here drinking coffee. Every now and then they break up a bar fight or arrest somebody for cooking. Oh my gosh. The developers actually mentioned meth in the woods. And the way they tell it's like some big sting operation, even though it's usually just some guy in a trailer. Now with the Duke situation, I guess you got first-hand experience for how they handle anything that seems like an actual emergency. Doesn't sound like they really saw it that way, does it? I haven't pegged you as a transplant. Where are you from? I moved here from Charlotte something like 3 years ago now. Maybe a little more. I've lost track. Aunt Wendy offered me a place to stay and a job, and who was I to pass on that sort of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I just moved in. Practically everyone, apart from the cool folks, grew up in this town, so it's like I'm the perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plain polite and friendly, but there's a shared history out there to be a part of. You regret moving here? I don't think I have the choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Aunt Winnie, and there's no way she's leaving this place. I found my place here. I think I can't say I feel like uprooted again anytime soon, so I think that means I like it well enough. Shouldn't uproot too often anyway, stresses out the plant. Why'd you leave Charlotte, if you don't mind me asking? Nah, it's cool. I was having some issues with my folks about my education, which wasn't great, especially since I was still stuck under their roof. When my aunt heard about it, she offered me a job and a place to stay, and the rest is history. I don't know what I want to say. I guess I'll go with this one. I mean, I haven't really felt like an outsider, but at the same time, small town. I get it. I felt out of place the whole time I've been here. It's not like it's terrible, right? But there's feeling. Like people are looking at you longer than they should. Hi, Julius. We're talking about you. Town of nosy assholes, if you ask me. Says the man who's staring directly at us. The muttering came from the man in the back booth. He strains his newspaper, hiding behind it as if pretending they hadn't just weighed in on your conversation. Says the guy who was listening in on other people's conversation. Way to go, Avery, you tell him. Maybe you're one of those nosy assholes, huh, Julius? The man continues to hide behind his newspaper. Let me know if you hear anything. Any leads might be helpful. Oh, definitely. He'll be the first to hear about it. My coffee's out. Oh no, and you've only had 5 cups today. How are you going to survive? Kidding. Just be a second, Julius. Well, Paula, it looks like I better get back to it. Hope you're feeling a little better. Oh, and before I go, I'm throwing a party this weekend. Nothing fancy, just a little get-together. I also have to say, I really like that the tea doesn't become a big deal. Like, you can not drink, you can drink the tea, or you can not drink the tea. And either way, it just becomes part of, like, the conversation. It's like, oh, I'm having a drink, you know. or I'm not having a drink, you know. Avery grabs a napkin, pulling out a pen and quickly scribbling something on the thin paper before handing it to you. That's my place. Come by any time after 6 on Saturday. Oh, for his party. It's almost Halloween, and it didn't seem like anybody else was going to throw one, so he stepped up to the plate. Though if you didn't come prepared with a costume, don't worry. I'm sure I can convince the bouncer to let you in anyway. Nice. Avery slips out of the booth, giving a friendly halfway before disappearing into the back. I also can't help but wonder what Winnie is reading. It kind of looks like romance novel, but I'm not 100%. I see a few of them things up near my place, you know. Oh, Julia's talking us now. Bullet's doing just fine. The man hides behind his newspaper, clearly uninterested in saying another word. So Julius has been finding the ditchlings too. You leave the diner ready to continue your day. Shall we swing by the Grove General Store? Let's do it. This is your first time seeing the general store in the light of day. A young man sits at the table by the register, too preoccupied with his phone to care that you stepped in. Offer him your point. I'm gonna do it. The young man looks up at your now quite pungent bag of peanuts, curls his lips in disgust, and returns to his phone. Hi, I'm Paula. Just got to town yesterday. Yeah, I know. Mom told me. What's your name? Miles. If I wanted to buy... Oh, I kind of want to do this. What you doing on your phone? Games. You probably haven't heard of them. So if I wanted to buy some chips or something, do I talk to you or Miles size? I guess, yeah. Kanika decided to skip work today, so of course whatever plans I had didn't matter. Just take the chips. I don't care. Street smart? Hell yeah, thanks for looking out. I kind of want to go with this. Hell yeah, thanks for looking out, man. You grab a bag of salt and vinegar chips from a nearby shelf. It will sustain you in the coming days. Right on. Do you know how to get to the mines? Maps are free. You take a map of the town. The mines are a couple miles away, but you now have the power to visit your cousin of your own free will. See you, Miles. Miles does respond as you turn and leave the general store. And I'm gonna say something here. You know, like, when we first play episode 5, and spoilers by the way, it turns out that Sybil takes Kanika and leaves Miles abandoned and makes him forget about his sister. You know, it's like, I remember I first not being able to comprehend why that would happen. But if you think about it, I mean, think about even the thing, like Nika's the firstborn. She would get like first dibs at inheriting the general store from her mom since her dad's died, but also considering that Sybil in a way is keeping Knika in reserve for what happens later when she believes she has to take her back into herself. I mean, I can kind of see it, and that's why Miles is left on his own, and why Miles sneaks off to the mines, and all that stuff, And that makes sense. I still don't like it, because but, Miles gives off, very much, I'm a butthole, nobody cares. That kind of thing. I also think it's weird that they have a full picture, painting, whatever it is, of Charles Shaw Sr. being rode out of town on a rail. It's like, let's, out of all of our history, let's prominently display this. But I definitely think there is, like Miles. I mean, maybe Sybil didn't even want Miles. Maybe she was perfectly satisfied with Knika. But I can see, especially, small town guy being like, oh, I want a son, can we try for a boy, and Sybil being like, okay, fine, whatever. Snitch. I love how they have the option to snitch on Miles. I don't think I'm going to, though. I think I'm going to be good. Yeah. See that one. Yeah, it was pretty hard to fall asleep last night, all things considered. I can't say I got a wink myself. Yeah, same. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Oh! Before I forget, we gotta talk about that photo you sent me this morning. Knika, check this out. Paula found it in Tabby's garden this morning, right in line of sight of her room. What is that liquid around there? It looks like pus. Do you think it's Wayne? That creep who keeps coming around my mom's tea room? See, that's the other weird thing. Supposedly, Wayne, or the entity, doesn't like Sybil, probably because Sybil helped Enoch imprison him, put him in his body. Remember what Sybil said last night? She said, I can't help you tonight, Wayne. And yet, he keeps talking to us about, especially in episode 5, where it's like, the witch is too powerful for me and I don't like her, you should expose her and whatever. He snuck up on us last night and called out Paula by name, and those boot prints match up with the mining getup. Whoa, apparently I missed a lot last night, huh? Wonder if there's any connection between that guy and what happened in the woods last night. Like what? I mean, I don't have anything specific, but we do have that whole property of impending doom angle to explore, and this photo is weird. I can't stop thinking about those splatters on the ground. If he's sick, maybe it's from the creatures you encountered. No, it isn't that body. Again, spoilers. Hey there, strangers. And literal stranger. No, we're not gonna offer Oscar a boiled peanut. Hey, I'm Paula, Tabitha's cousin. I'm in town with the funeral. Oh, I should have known you were Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's strong. I'm Oscar. Chief Librarian Gutierrez? I'm gonna say it's Gutierrez. I could be wrong though. Gutierrez? Maybe? Chief Librarian and only librarian. Oscar's amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of what the kids around here get to grow up with. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, the library was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. Y'all are too kind, but speaking of kids, I've recently seen Rosalina around town. I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know the crowd she hangs around with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I went up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. What's the old Maxwell place? It's this great old abandoned spot and is practically a magnet for young people. Even honor students aren't free from its call. I can't believe I used to be so reckless. The floors there were like Swiss cheese. I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home. Kids are sure that you think she can take care of herself. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not as safe as it usually is around here. Is that so? Deacon's right, there's some weird stuff going on in the woods. There's actually why we came in today. Have you ever heard creatures called ditchlings? They apparently show up in places on the brink of disaster. And they kind of look as if the Pillsbury Doughboy was a creepypasta. I'm gonna let you guys read. I'm just gonna check and see where the hubby is. My guilt call. Perfect. Kanika's mom told us about them last night after seeing some footage we got in the woods. Ditchlings? Doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot. Okay, if you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? Well, they say history repeats itself. So I'd probably try to figure out what sort of disasters this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? I don't know yet. I'll be right back. Gonna go nab some more books. Behave while I'm gone, Gretchen. Oh, you don't have to worry about her, Stella. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit, old gal. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in those woods. This is cool. Do you really not feel where all this this is going, the moment their whispers made their new way to me, it's like everything started to click into place. Reckoning is coming from the sound. I'm gonna try calling Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Don't mind Paula, she's been hanging out with Stella too much. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than go around getting in trouble, and we'll make sure to keep her eyes peeled. Paula, if you see a 13-year-old girl with black rimmed glasses, would you let her know her dad is worried about her? Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Got him. Just grabbed a whole mess of local history books. I also find it cool how the traits factor in, because, like, if you have book smart, you're able to read more books and get more information and stuff like that, but alright, this is gonna be so much faster with the two of you here to help out. Got our snacks, got our books, let's get this research party started. Reading awaits. Let's go, Scarlet. Forced into retirement at age 50 due to war injury from his time in the Indian Wars, excruciated by his short stint serving as captain in the Confederacy, Silas Scarlet also lost his eldest two sons to that bloodiest wars, leaving a third eldest son, Andrew Jackson Scarlet, to take care of the mines. Under his leadership, the mine prospered, undoubtedly in part due to the growth of the railroad industry. Managed to evade the coal union for decades, making them one of the most profitable mines in the country. Andrew Scarlet built the surrounding town into what it is today, with expensive stone buildings, a bustling main street, and overseeing all the elegant Scarlet estate. That was, until 1895, the largest, finest feat of architecture in the region. Culminating at the tragic collapse of 1918, it was found that Charles Shaw, the co-manager in the mine, had loosened security measures scapegoat to increase production during World War I, resulting in a fatal collapse and deaths of over 160 men and boys, some as young as 10. The casualties included Andrew Jackson Scarlet's son Theodore, his brother Enoch V. Scarlet V? Or Enoch the Fifth, maybe? Who had taken over for the aging father during the bustle of the war, managed to pull the mine from the brink of ruin, thereby saving the town. So this is how your family made its fortune. Let's flip through Silent Scarlet. I'm gonna let you guys read. I just want to make sure that I'm done. Like I said, might be a short run today, but that's okay. We got to do quite a bit. We got to talk to Avery, and we got to talk to Julia Smith, and yeah. There's also one thing that I wonder about. Is if Silas didn't, we don't know, but I almost wonder if it was a generational thing where, maybe Enoch was really into the occult and all that kind of stuff, and Silas was like, no son of mine will worship the devil or whatever. which is kind of interesting because if you remember right, if we remember, Enoch, one of the messages that we can find is that Enoch used to go visit Sybil, or the witch, when he was a kid. So, kind of makes me wonder if, it was like a generation after generation after generation thing. Also, I do have to laugh. I'm getting a lot of messages on Discord because I'm part of a Discord where people chat like a lot. And, so it's kind of interesting because it's like, I keep getting the thing to add with this one person who's in the Discord has a little avatar that's very, very similar to a friend of mine's avatar. And I just find it kind of interesting. Because every time that little avatar pops up, I think, oh, this person is talking to me, and then ends up not being that person, so. Also, I think this is Tailypo? Or, I'm assuming it's Tailypo because it's talking about a tail? Maybe? I also do find it funny that they only cook the tail. And I understand you're hungry, so it's like, you gotta, but aren't tails mostly bone? But, I don't know. I also do like that picture, that last picture, like the house is gone and there's just a chimney. I think I'm all done. Let's check in. Alright, if we're going with what Kanika's mom told us last night, I think we can rule out the natural disasters as what brought the ditchlings here. But not nuclear incidents. Looks like our state has a history with those. What about y'all? Find anything? Pixel! Oh, hey, Pixel. You might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find. Ha, don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats. Sorry, Pixel's bothering y'all. Hopefully he hasn't doubled up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. Alright, I better get back to sewing. Let me know if y'all need anything. Have you had any luck with Rosalina? Ha, not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it happened overnight. I'll probably head out once you're all done and check in on your usual haunts. Stella, what was that you were saying about nuclear incidents? You were talking about that gold squirrel thing, right? Ha, yeah. Apparently in the 60s, a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up midair and dropped a couple bombs. Fascinating bit of history there. First, the 2 bombs landed up right after his parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but later came out that the only thing preventing detonation was a single electrical switch, which failed to trigger on the T-set. And 6 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Right, it's conventional explosive disintegrating midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. Now, that brings up an interesting thing. I wonder if one of the seals is in the same place as wherever this warhead is. Also, give me 1 sec. Okay. So nuke beat the ditchlings. I like this one. If the bomb is somewhere else, why wouldn't there be so many ditchlings here? We shouldn't be looking too hard at the disaster angle anyway. Whatever those creatures are, they're biological. Look, you never know with radiation. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you. It does make monsters. And a 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. You never know. There could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up. And that reminds me of one of the Planet of the Apes movies. At least I think it's Planet of the Apes. It's been ages since I've seen those movies. I miss this. Should talk about veins of Scarlet. So about the coal mines here. Kanika visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel for the guys who work up there. I could never. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevasse. What happened up to my clubs? Books just kind of glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. I can drink. Yeah, the Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. I'm sure Tabby runs mine better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. There's a reason she and I don't talk. Kind of want to say this one. You guys really seem to have a bone to pick with Charles Shaw. That's what happens when someone directly causes a monumental disaster. Especially in a small town like this, people tend to spit when they hear your name. He got run out of the town on a rail, you know. And that's not a figure of speech. Back then, they actually tied you to a rail and ran you out of town. There's a big mural of it over out in the front wall. He got off easy, if you ask me. I kind of like this one. What if the ditchlings are coming from the mines? Maybe there's some kind of Like, maybe there's some kind of subterranean creature that the virus accidentally dug up. Not gonna lie, at this point, I believe that. It certainly ticked off a bunch of cryptid boxes. The mines have been active for over 150 years. I'd be surprised if they'd only managed to dig up something now. You guys seem pretty serious about this, huh? Let's talk about Scarlet. Do you think the Ditchlings are here for retribution? That seems tenuous. Assuming Kanika's mom is right, they're here as an omen, not because they're going to do something themselves. Okay, but if that's the case, and also keep in mind we can't really trust Sybil. Why would they be making more of themselves? And I think we know how I feel on the matter. Wampa's cats kind of sound like they could be mountain lions. Voice like a woman crying out somewhere in between person size and cat size. Definitely, they're 100% mountain lions. Kanika, you know there are no mountain lions up here. I thought you were supposed to be a skeptic. But the myths are old, right? Bad lions didn't go extinct and the Appalachian bad lions go. Those legends just haven't died off yet. Alright guys, he's on his way back, so we're gonna cut it short here. Save that. And quit. There we go. Alright, so next time we will do the, next time we'll continue at the library and hopefully go on into the mines. Not sure when exactly that's going to take place, but like I said, I hope you enjoy this bit in the meantime, and yeah, what do you guys, I kind of want to ask a question. Who do you guys think we should trust? Do you think we should trust Sybil, Wayne, or Tabitha the most? So, if you feel like leaving a comment, go ahead and leave a comment. And, yeah, I will see you guys hopefully within a day or two. If not, it'll be Monday at the earliest. So,